لا تذهب الأيام والليالي حتى يخلق القرآن في صدور أقوام من هذه الأمة كما تخلق الثياب ويكون ما سواه أعجب لهم ويكون أمرهم كله طمعا لا يخالطه خوف إن قصر عن حق الله تعالى منته نفسه الأماني وإن تجاوز وإن تجوز إلى ما نهى الله عنه قال أرجو أن يتجاوز الله عني يلبسون جلود الضأن على قلوب الذئاب أفضلهم في أنفسهم المداهن الذي لا يأمر ولا ينهى رواه أبو نعيم الأصبهاني في حلية الأولياء. Hadith is very scary hadith in here, as well as the rest of the hadith. Just before we'll go to the hadith, is there any of you did change his opinion about what is our status now so far or not? Or are you still thinking that mashallah, so we are doing well, mashallah, activities, this, that?
It doesn't seem like to me a lot of these signs were happening a long time ago, isn't like 400, 500 years ago.
Okay.
It doesn't seem that, it doesn't seem like it's any more as further or nearer to us. It seems like it was the same 400 years ago.
Okay, I agree with you. Some of them, yes. I agree with you. Yes, anyone else? You know, I remember first when I went through some of the hadith of the same book which I mentioned, and the Tadhkir of Qurtubi and some of other, the book of Barzanji al-Husseini, and some of the collections of the fitness and the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, I was so shocked. But then it made me to wake up, it made me to realize that these are not like games, you know. It is coming from very, very strong person, you know, predicting. And it made me to understand that the many, many things that we are receiving now is not from Quran and Sunnah, but it is just from the environment that we have, you know, thinking that that is Islam, you know. It was so painful and shocking. عن معقل بن يسار رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام says لا تذهب الليالي والأيام, so days will not end حتى يخلق القرآن في صدور أقوام من هذه الأمة كما تخلق الثياب. So day of judgment will not come till Quran will get used, it will get wasted and it will get decomposed in the hearts of a people from this nation, from this ummah, as clothes will get decomposed and will get wasted. So then وَيَكُونُ مَا سِوَاهُ أَعْجَبُ لَهُمْ, and something else rather than Quran will be more interesting for them. I say 99.99% of Muslims, they did meet this condition. Okay, do you remember, let's go back to the 1st century. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu has been asked, because as you know, in the earliest period after the death of Rasulullah ﷺ, Abu Hurairah would never narrate any hadith. But in the latest stage, when Abu Hurairah became older, so he started narrating a lot of ahadith, you know. So then some of the tabi'in asked, saying, "Oh Abu Hurairah, where you have been before? Why you didn't narrate these ahadith before?" So then he said, if I would narrate these ahadith in the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, he would beat me up with his staff. To understand this philosophy, there is some statement from Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhu. They used to say, do not build up narrations, means from Rasulullah ﷺ, and leave the people with Kitabullah. Let them to understand and focus and concentrate on the book of God, because تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ, Allah did reveal the Quran to explain everything. تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ, okay, to explain everything in this dunya. So do not confuse the people with the narrations, you know. Okay, so the first generation, they were very, very highly focused on Quran, and the next generation focus went to the ahadith, and the generation after to fiqh. Do you remember Abu Maryam al-Lu'lu'i. Have you heard about this personality? Abu Maryam al-Lu'lu'i is very famous scholar. Actually, he's a student of Imam Azam, you know. And he's known as biggest fabricator of hadith. He did admit it by himself. And then he said, as an excuse, so whenever you find hadith from Abu Maryam al-Lu'lu'i, mainly or only it will be about the fadail of Quran. If you read Fatiha, it's going to be this. If you read Baqarah, it's going to be this, you know. But ahadith, all of them are fabricated. So then he has been asked, why are you fabricating ahadith? So he said, I saw the people are interested into fiqh of Abu Hanifa and the seerah of Ibn Ishaq, okay, and other things, you know, but no one is interested into the Quran. So just in order to bring back the people back to Quran, I started fabricating a hadith. So by the time of Imam Abu Hanifa, people were very far from Quran already, you know. So Quran, it started getting decomposed in the heart of the people. So something different rather than Quran was more interesting to them than Quran. Okay, for example, now, question just for yourself, don't reply back, but just for your own, you can say, confidence. If you will be given an option, several options, one of them is to read Quran, to try to understand, and there are other options, for example, to learn how herbal remedies are prepared, you know, or to learn the history of how Imam Hussein has been slaughtered, or to learn the history of the debate between the scholars. So, which will be more interesting? The majority of the Muslims will go for anything else but not Quran. That's how Quran has been decomposed in the heart of a people, and something besides Quran is more interesting and more attractive to the people, to the Muslims, than Quran. There is such amazing hadith narrated by Imam Ahmad, Isnaduhu Hasan, in which Rasulullah says, Quran, so it is very long hadith in which Rasulullah was praising Quran, saying, anyone who speaks according to Quran, he will be just. And anyone who judges according to Quran, he will be just. And Quran has all of the stories of the previous nations, and it has got the solution of the problems of this nation. And so long. So Rasulullah was propagating us, or you can say, encouraging us to go towards Quran. Okay? And if you remember, Hadith al-Thaqalain is one of the latest hadith which has been stated by Rasulullah before the death, just close to the death, in which Rasulullah said, I am leaving behind my back two things, and if you will cut them, you will be never misguided. One is Kitabullah, and Rasulullah said, أحدهما أعظم وأكبر من الأخرى, saying one of them, so I'm leaving two things, and one of them is greater than the other. Kitabullah wa itrati, Quran and my descendants. Quran, and then narrator says, he said Kitabullah, and then Rasulullah did encourage us to follow Quran. Okay, and then Rasulullah described his descendants, Ahlul Bayt, Itra. Okay, but now Quran is, even the scholars and the students of knowledge, they are more interested into defeating others, you know, reading the books of the disagreements, you know, or reading maybe fiqh, or I don't say that it's less important, but Quran, it should be the top thing for the Muslim. You know, I remember when I used to study, and I was very into the fiqh, okay, well, all of the mutassibs are very into the fiqh, okay. So then I used to have friends, Shafi'i friends from Malaysia, and I used to feel jealousy towards them. Why? Because Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, he has written a lot of books about hadith, tafsir, and about the naskh mansukh of Quran, and about the fiqh, you know. I used to say, if I would be Shafi'i, I would definitely be expert of the books of Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu. And unfortunately, I'm Hanafi, and we have only one book which is written by Imam Abu Hanifa himself. and several narrations which has been dictated, but altogether it's about 5-6 books, you know, and very short ones. Okay, but the books of Imam Shafi is very big, you know, volume books, you know. So to read the book of your Imam is so exciting. What do you think? But then what do you think about reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's even more amazing. So as a concept, as analogy, it's very exciting, very amazing thing, you know. But unfortunately, Quran has been decomposed in our hearts. So something different to Quran is better and more attractive to us. Philosophy of Ibn Sina or Farabi, or maybe the books of Hujjatul Islam, Al-Imam al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu, okay, or maybe the philosophical things of maybe any philosopher, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, for example. So that will be more attractive than Quran. Once Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam complaining about what? Complaining about night and his hunger. What type of night and what type of hunger? So he says, Ya Rasulullah, I get up in the night when everyone is asleep and I start praying tahajjud and reading Quran. So I feel so thirsty and I will carry on reading to fulfill my thirst. And Azan, Bilal recites Azan for Fajr before I will feel my hunger of Quran, you know. Okay? So the people of the purest hearts, they know the test of the Quran, okay? But because Quran is decomposed in our hearts, so something different than Quran for us is more attractive than Quran. Then وَيَكُونُ أَمْرُهُمْ كُلُّهُ طَمَعًا. And whatever they do, all of that is based on seeking their own benefit. لا يخالطه خوف. And there will not be any fear of God. There will not be any fear of God. So for example, now you are setting up some business. You are setting up some business. And in your business, there is some haram non-avoidable. You will not hesitate, you know. You will just carry on, you know. Why? Because everything is based on your own profit. There is no any portion of fear of God. Okay, for example, you are working in some restaurant or in some shop in which they serve alcohol, or for example wine. And you know that Rasulullah said that there are 10 people cursed upon wine. One of them who delivers, one of them who sells, one of them who prepares, one of them who puts into the cup, you know. So 10 people cursed. So one of them is seller and one of them is who delivers, you know. And you are working in the shop or the institution in which they do this type of cursed thing. People will try to find an excuse, or they will try to get a fatwa which allows them to carry on working in there. You know why? Because each single thing in our life is based on the profit and income and benefit. And there is no any fear of God in here. إن قصر عن حق الله تعالى منته نفسه أو إن قصر في حق الله منته نفسه الأماني. If some of them will be doing some shortcoming, so his ego will give him thousands of excuses, you know. Okay. وإن تجاوز إلى ما نهى الله عنه قال أرجو أن يتجاوز الله عني. And if he will commit some sin, for example in the business, you cannot avoid the haram. So instead of avoiding that business, you will avoid the prohibition of God. Means you will ignore it. So if they will commit some sin, so then they will think, Allah is very merciful, so He's going to show mercy, you know. He's going to forgive me, you know. يَلْبِسُونَ جُلُودَ الظَّانِ عَلَى خُلُوبِ الذِّئَابِ. And the people, they will be putting on the leathers or the skins of a sheep by having the hearts of wolves. Means they will put on a mask of the angels when they are shayateen. Okay, for example, it's very well known in our time, any transaction or any conversation based on the benefits. So when you go to some office, some shop, for example, they may hate you, okay, but they will be showing smile, trying to show that they're very soft, okay. Speaking about Muslims, أفضلهم في أنفسهم المداهن الذي لا يأمر ولا ينهى. And in that time, the best person is going to be the one who is compromising, who is avoiding, the one who doesn't get engaged into what they are doing, and in the same time, he will not be making amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. The next hadith, hadith number